Hi, everyone. Um, so, um, Today I would like to talk about a few things. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is advocating. I've done two videos on the topic I'm talking about today, and those of you know what I'm talking about. It's been difficult and trying to deal with all this. Uh, but For those who don't know what's going on, I just recently had to turn in a staff person that I've known for a very long time because she was driving while she was on pills. And she was driving with me, she was driving with another client, and she told her work that she wasn't doing this. So basically what happened is that uh she um she did it anyway. So basically what happened was after doing all this, I had to think to myself, what am I gonna do? Um, I really like this person. I don't want to lose her as a staff person, but I have to think about what am I gonna do at this point. What I did was I reported her because she was on this medication that she's not supposed to be driving on. Um, it starts with an O, and that's as far as I can get into that. But I don't want to get debunked, so I'm not saying the name. But it's a very strong medication, and she was driving on it with me, uh, another client. We'll name her Tammy, not real name. Uh, the staff person's name is Sharon, not real name. Uh, so I had to all weekend to think about what to do. So I thought about it, and I actually go, uh, gave her agency a call and explained to them what was going on. And I was torn up about it because I like the staff person. I didn't want to turn her in, but I had to think about besides myself, I had to think about the other person, excuse me, that she was driving around as well as myself. Not only that, her, you know, what would have happened if she got into an accident and she had um, Tammy in the car, or she had me in the car, or she hit somebody else because she wasn't paying attention. Um, so, and the side effects of this medication is um, you're not allowed to operate machinery. You get blurred vision. Your head gets foggy. So basically, uh, you're there, but you're not there. It's just not a good medication to have when or driving while you're working. And a lot of people will tell you if you're working, don't take that medication because it messes you up. Uh, I've been, I felt very strongly about this. When I first did the video, the reason why I did the first video was because I wanted to let people know and explain to them what was happening. So on the video, I got really deep into it. Basically, I want to say she knew what she was doing. She admitted to me that she knew what she was doing was wrong, and she did it anyway. Uh, and she is still continuing to drive. She's continuing to work. And to me, I just feel like, okay, if you break your back and you're on a very strong medication that you can't drive, why are you working? Are my thoughts. But so ever since I called her boss told me that there was going to be an investigation. I had called the state to let the state know that I called her boss to let them know that there was going to be an investigation. Because even though you called the boss, you still have to make a reportable event into why you made that call. So, and then I had to write up so many reports on it because what the person was doing wasn't safe. And so I went over the pros and cons, or I went over the what ifs. Okay, well, what if I don't say something and something happens to that other person she's with or me? And if I do say something, is she gonna hate me? Or am I doing the right thing by saying something, calling her out on it? And when I did the report, and once I did say something and I advocated, I felt a ton of guilt. Meaning that I didn't want to do this, but I was angry at her because I felt like I had no choice. She's gonna hurt somebody. And that's why I felt like I had to say something. I had to turn her in. Because, like I said, her actions, she could hurt somebody. She could hurt Tammy. She could hurt herself. She could hurt anybody that's on the road, somebody who's walking across the street and she doesn't see them. I just didn't want to feel the guilt of if I didn't say something, what would have happened. And I didn't want to play that what if game on what was going on. So, and after saying something, like I said, I did feel a lot of guilt on reporting her. I've had a lot of anxiety since I've reported her. And I felt a lot of guilt when I reported her. But I knew that it wasn't me, it was her. So that's why I needed to say something either way. So and feeling the guilt, I'm going to it's hard not to. So, my husband just got home.
Hi.
I'm going in my room. So, anyhow, take you someplace else to continue our conversation. Sorry, vacating that room. But anyway, as I was saying, I did feel guilty for a long time because I didn't want to get her in trouble. But I didn't want to feel responsible if something did happen, because then I would feel really bad if something did happen, and I could have avoided it, or I could have stopped it somehow. So that was the other reason why I reported it. But after reporting it, I felt a ton of guilt. My anxiety was through the roof. And I've had a lot of mixed feelings on doing it, but I knew that I did the right thing. And I knew that uh, we're all human. We all feel bad in one way or another when we have to say something. And I want to encourage other people, if they're in the same situation I am, to say something about it, because um, you don't know if what's gonna. I mean, it could be different situations that you're in, and I feel that people need to know and advocate for yourself. And if you're advocating for someone, that's also great. And I want people to continue advocating for themselves and for other people. The whole point of me starting these videos is because I wanted a chance to advocate for people who cannot advocate for themselves. Like Tammy. Tammy doesn't know what's going on, and so she could be going out with Sharon, and she could be clueless on what's happening. Sharon went out and had back surgery. This would be her, I want to say, first day back to work. And not knowing if Sharon is driving while on medication, while she's working with Tammy, that kind of concerns me in a way. So today, I had called the state and reported it because it's a lot of it's information that they need to know. Today I saw her next door. Today I saw her leave with a client. They just got back. And I even said my concerns to them. Well, I was, the person I was talking to well, even though one of her companies is investigating her, maybe she works with a different company who doesn't know about the current situation. And if that's the case, then uh, I don't know. I mean, I can only do so much. I can bring it to someone's attention, but then it's up to them to figure everything out. Um, and I do have a lot of concerns about it, but mostly the reason why I have concerns is I feel that, oh my goodness, excuse me. I feel that a lot of things aren't being heard, and I feel that advocating for ourselves is one of the ways of us being heard. And I feel that there's a lot of um, oh, what do you call it? There's a lot of feelings, like there's a lot, like I was saying, like in my other video, there's a lot of aftermath or a lot of after effects after you report things. Like for me, my anxiety's been up, my depression's been high. Uh, Things have affected me a lot since I reported it because I think more like I didn't want to get her in trouble. Um I don't want to lose somebody that I like, and she's an awesome staff person when she's not taking that medication. And but when she hurt her back, things have changed. Things have changed. Uh, Her whole demeanor changed. Everything had changed. My husband was the one who noticed she was taking the medications before I did, and so and she even admitted to me that she was taking the medication, and that to me was concerning because and I know she's not that type of person who would actually do it deliberately. So, and for her to do it deliberately, uh, and her knowing the side effects of the medication, she knows that something can happen at any moment. I hated being put in that position on having to say something, but I had to advocate for Tammy, not your name, and for other people that Sharon works with besides me and Tammy. Um, it just kind of makes things hard for me. And so I've had to take some time off from doing videos because my mental health has taken a toll on itself. And this has messed me up very badly that I had to turn someone that I really like in. Um, so it messes me up mental health wise, and my anxiety, my depression, I've been having a lot of panic attacks with my anxiety. I mean, yes, I am using my coping skills to help me with all this, but what we feel uh, is perfectly normal when something like this happens. It may not feel it at the moment or in the moment, but um, after you kind of take a step back and look at things, um, you tend to think, okay, well, this is what we're feeling, and you know. But with me, even with the coping skills, I still needed to take some time off to kind of recuperate. So, and to get in to advocating for ourselves, and it doesn't matter what the situation is, always say something, even if it's um, important, even when it's not important. Um, say something. Um, it's always good to use your voice, saying what the issue is. So for me, uh, okay, the reason why I started these videos was because growing up and part of my adulthood, I didn't have the voice to say anything. So people walked all over me. I was bullied, not just by friends, school, or whatever. I was bullied by adults too, not just kids. I was bullied by a landlord that felt like she could bully me because she knew that, I had issues. So she felt like she could bully me. Um, I had staff people who thought that they could bully me, but I stood up to them and they didn't like it. That's the reason why um, they made things harder for me. Uh, and there are a lot of other people who can be bullies. It doesn't necessarily have to be that one that on one person or that one thing. So growing up, I had a lot of self-esteem issues and I always held things in. I never said anything. That's the reason why I, I always brushed things off. But now that I'm an adult and now that I look at things clearly now, I'm thinking to myself, what would I say to myself? And while I was in those shoes, like, what would I say to myself? Um, and there's a lot of questions there that and a lot of answers that I probably would have said to myself while I was in school, while I was being bullied. I mean, my whole everything changed. My self esteem changed. I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of depression in school. I was picked on a lot in school. Um, I never said anything because I didn't know how to say it. Uh, and then going into the whole group home situation, uh, there was a lot of issues in the group homes and a lot of issues in services. Uh, so I always stayed quiet. I never said anything. And so, and nothing was ever really done about it. A lot of my medical needs was never met, and a lot of medical things were on hold because I had a hard time speaking up. So, and that's what made things hard. Not being able to speak up, not being able to say anything. Um, so, so now that I take a look back at myself and think to myself, what could I done there? I actually spoke up to somebody before in my group home because this person, her name was Eliza, and she had uh, stomach issues, and I had never seen this person ever in pain. So when I saw her in pain, I had tried to advocate for her, and the staff kept brushing me off. So when I talked to somebody about it, somebody else, um, about it, they took her to the hospital, and she had a ruptured appendix, and she needed surgery. So I think I actually saved her life at that point by advocating for her. So, but my issue was I always had a problem advocating for me. Saying things for me, saying things for people is totally different than saying things for me. And I know that that's something I need to work on advocating for myself. But when I started having issues, when that situation with Sharon came up, the reason why I think part of the reason why I said something is because it wasn't just me involved, it was another person involved. And so I had to advocate for that person. And so once I advocated for her, I felt good about advocating for her. But then I started shutting myself off again because there was a lot of backlash, and I tried to avoid a lot of that backlash. So when I advocated for myself and for this recently, I was afraid of backlash, but then I'm thinking to myself, but this is way too important. I can deal with the backlash. I just need to figure out what's going on, what's going to happen, and all that. I mean, even though something good came out of some of this, I'm still, I'm, I mean, I know that I'm going to be getting somebody else to take her place. And the company isn't mad at me because they know that I'm not at fault. I'm just telling them what's going on. But still, um, it's very hard for me to explain a lot of this. Um, so basically, what it comes down to is um, it took me a while to say something, and I want you guys to realize that one person says something, another person will, another person will, another person will. So if you guys have issues, just one person will speak up, and then people will start speaking up for themselves. And for the people that can't speak up for themselves, they got people like me. They got people that are around to say something for them. But I would want to encourage that more, for people to speak up for themselves. Like I said too, like when I first started these videos, I wanted to make a difference in people's lives, and I wanted to advocate for them. That is why I started these things. And I want to be able to be that person, to be there for the people, and for everybody. When I first started doing these videos, like when I was talking about, like when I first started peer support, I wanted to be the people's voice, and that's still something that I want. Some of the things that I said in the video that I want to do, I'm still doing them. It takes me a while to do them. I still got a lot going on right now, so it may take a while, but I am definitely doing everything that I said I was going to do. It's just, it may take a bit. I'm starting things out a little bit at a time. But mostly, you know, people's lives matter, and people's lives matter to me. Disabled or not disabled, you guys matter to me, and that is why I'm trying my hardest to make these videos, to make, to make sure you guys see the difference that, I am 43 years old. I am a grown adult with autism. I do have disabilities. I do have a lot of mental health issues. I do tend to do a lot of things, and a lot of the videos that I do helps me deal and cope with a lot of stuff. So, and to me, a lot of people matter. I strive through things. I always look at things, and I always try to improve on things. I do know that things are hard for some people. I do know that advocating may be difficult for some people like me. I have a hard time speaking in front of people. I have a hard time with like, let's say if we're in a room and there's like a ton of people there, I get stage fright. That's the reason why I always use these videos as an outlet, so I can still say what I need to say, but in the comfort of my own home, and I can still advocate for people. I can still, you know, do my videos and educate, advocate, and um, letting people know that they are being heard. I want people to realize that I'm trying my hardest to advocate for everyone, not just myself, but for everyone, like people like Tammy, um, Eliza, people who actually, matter. Like, when I first started, you saw that um, I did a video on Ian. Well, Ian was not a bad person. He was a good person who, he was working at one company and as well as the company he worked with me. But he burnt himself out so much that he started doing things that he wasn't supposed to do. But I feel that if, you know, if he had the proper, or if he did have someone to help him out, I think he would have been a great asset to the company. And for a lot of other people who are like him, that, he could have been a great staff, but he had a lot of things going on. So I think he learned his lesson on that. Um, like with Dylan. Dylan was another person who I had, and she was not that great. Dylan, she, when I first had her, things were going great for a few months. And then once she started coming in, we started working together. And I have a lot of health issues, but she was ignoring them. If I had to use the bathroom, she made me wait for an hour. If I needed to eat, she made me wait until she was hungry. I have asthma. She made me wait outside until she was ready to come in. It was just like there was a lot of health risks when it came to staffing and when it came to her. So after having her, those are just some examples that I had with her. After having her, after losing her, uh, after having her as a staff person, her company actually made it important that they took a class on how to treat clients before they worked with them. And I think that after having her and after the situation I was in and reported that, that's another thing I advocated about for myself, is that I was being mistreated by a staff person and I had to say something. And so when I said something, they got rid of her and they gave me somebody else. They made that other person take a course on how to treat clients before coming in and working with me. And so it's important to me that people are human and they get treated. I want people to be treated how they're supposed to be treated, because, if you want me to treat you with respect, you need to do the same thing back, as you need to treat other people with respect too. So, instead, when you talk to somebody, don't use you statements, use I statements. Like, I feel da 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 da. So, like me, like I went and explained to them, like, I feel that I'm not being heard. I feel that this person is not right for me. I feel that I need something done about this. So those are all I statements. So for example, I feel I need all that stuff. With Dylan, with Dylan, I needed to tell them what happened, what I needed, and they got rid of her. Um, but I feel that a lot of people that I know, there's a lot of people in different agencies who are not getting what they need, and to me, I don't feel that it's right. It could be group home, it could be independent living, it could be shared living, um, independent living, shared living, could be crisis homes, could be anywhere. I feel that a lot of people aren't being heard. And I feel that, the more I advocate for these people, the more things are going to get done. I'm hoping and wishing that everyone is taking care of themselves. I wish everybody the best. And I'm also hoping that everyone is, I know everyone's doing the best that they can. And I know that when I first started these videos, I started the videos for a right reason. I wanted to be the first one to let you guys know that I've been through a lot of crap. We'll just say crap. Um, I've done everything. I've had a lot of people who had a lot of negativity. No one had that positive aspect as aspect of things. And so I felt like I was taken advantage of a lot. I didn't have the right people to stick up for me back then. And it was just, like with me and my mom, it's not her fault. She tried the best that she could, and I know she did. Um, and my mom's awesome. I think she's a great mom, and so I just feel like that. You know, a lot of places I feel like let me down. I didn't have a lot of support back then, like I do now, and I feel that um, if I had that support back then things probably wouldn't have ended up the way that they did. And now that uh, I'm starting to open up, I'm starting to figure out why um, I can't keep my mouth shut anymore. It's hard. Uh, I was treated poorly. My rights were being violated, definitely. Um, I had my rights being violated a lot by some of the agencies that I were with and or I was with, and so and because of the backlash, because of everything that one everyone believed them more than they believed me. That is why I really didn't say anything. But now that uh, all that is said and done, all that is in the past. I'm trying to let the past go and feel like, okay, well, now that that's gone and done, and that was all negative, I'm trying to work on the positive part of my life. And I do feel that one of the companies I was working with, um, I started seeing my husband before we got married, and they didn't like my husband because he was teaching me how to stand up for myself and not to put up with any of their crap. And I do know that some of the people were not happy. They are trying to say that he was a bad influence on me. They always did up reportable events on him, and they tried to lie a lot to get rid of him. Well, I had I had reported myself that they were the ones who are trying to get him to act out, and he wasn't acting out. They didn't like that he wasn't acting out, so they would write down reportable events that weren't true, and they got mad at me because I told them that the reportable events was a lie, that he never did anything, and that, I was getting sick and tired of people writing up things that had to do with him that he didn't even do. So, once I left that company, I went through a lot of companies until I found the right company. And the company I'm with right now is awesome. I love their company. I don't want to change any other companies to any other company because I like this one. Yes, um, it was a rocky start, but things are going good again. Yes, we did have some issues with um, a few staff people, and we did have a few issues. Like just recently, like I said, we had that issue with Sharon, and so it's going to take a bit for me to wind down from all that. But um, for me, it's important for me to talk about all this, and it's important for me to let people know that all this is going on. I'm very passionate about my work. I'm very passionate about people and to stand up for them doing my videos. And I know some people may not like my videos, and that's okay for them not to. But please be respectful and let me do what I need to do. And I've been trying to use this video. This is my comfort zone on these videos. Besides advocating for myself, um, I do like uh, doing these videos, and um, so I also love. I'm sorry, I'm trailing off here. But what does give me the drive to do these videos? Like I said in some of my videos, I was never heard back then. I was never, I always had issues with um, suffering in silence, not saying anything. And I wish I had someone like me back then to fight for them and to speak on their behalf. And so, and I think if I did, I may um, not have suffered the way that I did. and I would not have been taken advantage of the way that I was back then. Um, and that is the other reason why I started these videos, because I want to be another outlet for people. I want to be able to help anybody any way that I can, even just being someone just here sitting here and listening to what they have to say or something like that. I want to be able to be that outlet for that person. Um, and to let people know that they're not alone. I'm right here as a support system for people. Uh, I do know that I have a lot of supporters who helped me through a lot of stuff. I didn't have a lot of supporters back then, but I do now. And I do have somebody who actually advocates for me when I struggle with advocating, and she's awesome. But I want to be the one who advocates for you. And I want to be able to have that. And I want to create a safe space for people. So, and that's what I want to do. I want people to feel like they can talk to me. Um, I want people to feel like, what I do is I try to create a positive surroundings. I try to create, there's no judgment here. There's really no judgment at all here. And I want people to know that. Um, so, and if you do want to talk to me, you can, or send me an email or anything like that. RaptorlessJ@gmail.com. If you want to send me an email, if you want to talk about anything, I am here to support people. And if I can't, then I will point you guys to someone who can, or point you in the right direction. But anyway, all right, I gotta end this video. I got a lot going on. I know I didn't get too much right now, but I will do an additional to this. So stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.